Harry's wife. The stakes are high. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. At the peak of Everest was sat a hunk of meat. It was called T-Bone, and as T-Bone sat there, admiring the view from being so high up, he saw, through the snow that was falling from the grey and blue sky, another piece of meat moving along the ridge towards him. It was flank steak. "Hey, Flank!" called out T-Bone. Flank turned around. He stared as if he wasn't sure what he was seeing. "It's me, T-Bone!" he shouted. Flank recognised his pal and waved in return. He started to make his way towards T-Bone when all of a sudden he felt the vibration of his satellite phone strapped to his side. He lifted it up and pressed the button from a gloved finger and then answered. "Hello, Flank Steak here, high up on Everest." "Hey, Flank, it's me, Ribeye. I'm at the top of the Empire State, and guess what I can see? The whole of Manhattan. It's great being so high up." "I'll agree with that," said Flank. "Hang on a second, though. I've got another call coming through." He continued to plod through the snow towards T-Bone as he pressed another button, placing Ribeye on hold in Manhattan, and then taking another call. "Hi, you've reached Flank." He heard a strange noise, and he couldn't work out what it was. And then there was an excited noise of delight. "Hello, hello," said Ribeye. Hi, it's me, Round Steak. Round Steak, what on earth are you doing?" "I'm flying higher and higher as I'm setting a world record for a piece of meat bouncing on a trampoline." "That's absolutely outstanding," replied Flank as he finally reached T-Bone. "What's going on?" asked T-Bone. "I've got Ribeye on hold. He's at the top of the Empire State Building with a very high view of the great city of New York, and this is Round Steak, who's in the process of setting some records for the piece of meat that's bounced the highest in the world on a trampoline." "Amazing," said T-Bone, and just as he was about to offer his own congratulations, he felt his own satellite phone vibrate and picked it up. Hey, T-Bone, shouted an excited voice. "Yes, who's that?" "It's me, Rump Steak. Hey, Rump, how's it hanging?" "It's brilliant. I just had to let you know that I'm riding high in the charts at the moment with my downstream, which is at number 2, with sizzling fat-bottomed grills." "That's absolutely brilliant," replied T-Bone, delighted to hear that his friend was doing so well. "Wait a second, I've got another call coming through. I'll come right back at you, Rump." "No problem," said Rump, and there was the sound of a champagne cork popping. T-Bone pressed the button on his satellite phone. "Hey, man. Yeah. Oh, fuck." "What's going on?" asked T-Bone. "Is that you, Hanger Steak?" "Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I'm in Jamaica, and I'm so high right now." "Well, that's good for you that you're having a relax, but I'm rather busy at the moment. I'm at the top of Everest, and I'm about to find out more about what Rump Steak has been achieving with his record. Sizzling fat-bottomed grills, which is number 2 in the downstream charts. Oh, man, that is so good. Just like this blunt I'm smoking," replied Hanger Steak. Before then, he hung up. Just before T-Bone could get back to Rump Steak, there was the sound of the buzzing of another call. Hello? "Hey, T-Bone, it's me, Sirloin. Guess what? I've been knighted, enabling me to be higher up in society." "Wow," replied T-Bone. "That's astonishing. Mind you, I've just received a text, and we're going to have to try and help out our friends Blade, Prime Rib, and Brisket." "Why?" replied Sirloin. "Apparently, they're stuck on the 173rd floor in a lift in the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Holy smokes, said Sirloin. We'd better get organised. They're stuck and they're high. A little bit like Sirloin, I should imagine. Absolutely. At that point, a voice cut into the telephone call. What's going on here, then? Who's that? Who's that? Replied T-Bone. Flank looked nervously as he heard the same words. I think it's her, said Flank. You're not meant to be steaks that are high that are meat, you morons! Which producer told you to do this? The hunks of meat looked at one another around the world, or stared at their feet if they had them, wondering what on earth was going on. Now, that preposterous scenario of various steaks being high in one form or another is just as ridiculous as the scenario that has been put forward by Harry's wife. Harry's wife declared in the recent Netflix trailer that the stakes are high. For who? Who is she referring to? Are the stakes high for the royal family? No. She'll throw some pelters, she'll engage in some smearing, but they're ignoring her. And all they will do is correct the blatant inaccuracies, and for the rest of it, they will just shake their heads and get on with business as usual. The monarchy in the United Kingdom is not going to disappear overnight. Indeed, the behaviours of Harry's wife will actually go to strengthen it, as more people will rally behind it. Furthermore, are the stakes high for the media? Is Harry's wife going to get her revenge by pointing out how much they have harassed her and smeared her? No, they're not. Because, typical of her mid-range ineptitude, she accused them of calling her children the N-word, without a shred of evidence, and also evidence that contradicted that was the case, that demonstrated that such words would never be used by the press and never had been used by the press, and that it was another lie told by her. The media, notwithstanding attempts to shackle its behaviours, will always be there, reporting so long as there are clicks available, advertisements to be sold, and readers who will read the material, whether in print or digital form. The media, whether it's broadcast news, print news, digital news, opinion pieces will continue. The stakes aren't high for them. There's a feeding frenzy as Harry's wife pumps out so much ridiculous behaviour, they don't know which way to turn with regard to what they report on next. Perhaps, then, she's referring to the fact that the stakes are high for the general public. They're not. There's the small group that support her, and will continue to do so for the reasons that I've outlined in parts passing. There's a large disinterested number, and then there's a large group who cannot stand her, and repeatedly point out her behaviours, hypocrisies, and idiocies. They are not suddenly going to find that they've been proven wrong by what she puts out, although she will believe that. On the contrary, the individuals, the general public, the commentators on social media and YouTube and such like, will actually find themselves validated as she spews yet more revisions of histories, more porky pies, more contradictions, which just goes to state and demonstrate that what has been said about her is entirely accurate. There'll be a field day of picking apart what she has offered, both in terms of factual inaccuracy, as has been seen in the trailers already, and also the sickly sweet portrayal which nobody will fall for. They will see the incongruous behaviours, the staged actions, most of which being, isn't it peculiar that you manage to cry or look alarmed or look distressed just when there happens to be a film crew coming along and photographers? It is all a charade, and only the moronic are taken in by it. When she states the stakes are high, she's talking about everybody else. She believes the stakes are high in order to make it dramatic so that people will watch. But she doesn't think the stakes are high for her, although they are. Because in actual fact, this series is essentially taking a revolver and putting it to her temple and pulling the trigger again and again. And each bullet that fires from her pomposity pistol will start to cause the demise, not in the physical sense, but the demise of the empire that she has sought to build. She's made the repeated mid-range mistakes, and this Netflix series, believe me, although she thinks that it is going to be her magnus opus that will validate everything that she's ever said, and she will not be dissuaded from that either. She will still, in her own deluded mind, believe it to be the case, but actually, for everybody else, they will see how ridiculous she is, what a liar she is, how manipulative she is, and it will continue her fall from grace. So whilst T-Bone and Flank sit upon Everest, looking out across the world, and Ribeye perhaps gazes down on Harry and his handler, attending at the Nipple of Grope Awards as he's there watching from the Empire State, and as Roundsteak gleefully flies through the air, seeking to set that record, and Rumpsteak revels in the dominance of his new track. Hangersteak gets the munchies in Jamaica, and Sirloin starts to move through the echelons of society, and eventually Blade, Prime Rib and Brisket find themselves freed from the lift so they can admire the views from the Burj Khalifa. Those stakes are high. The stakes are high for Harry's wife, but she doesn't realise it's in relation to her, not everybody else, as the way she believes it to be. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.